Hello, I'm Richard Stubbe, and we're going to review another match that I played recently, in fact, just a couple of hours ago, in which I made fewer blunders than usual, but still made a fair share. So let's have a look. This is the beginning position of the match, and in my third roll, I have this position here, and misplay a 6-2 by playing the 2 up and the 6 down, and the computer would have strongly preferred moving the 2 out to the 16 point. In game 2, I'm leading 1-0, and I have a 5 and 2 here. And once again, one of my bad habits comes up and gives me a bite, which is I often miss chances to hit loose in the inner board, and here is a great one. And this is a pretty significant error. It's a plus 0.306. If I make the play that I'm supposed to, and it's a plus 1.48, there are actually even some better plays than the ones that I made, including this and this, even though they're still blunders. So pretty clearly one best play, 4-point board, really good chance to hit. Can't really pass that up. This is game 3. We're tied 1-1. And we have a 6-4 to play, and I made the 2-point. I didn't love making a 2-point, and could have done two good things here, which is make the 9-point, which is 6 away from the 3-point and therefore a good blocker, and moved out to the 18-point and begun my escape, since I have only 2 checkers back instead of 3. So pretty bad misplay there. This is game 4. Now I'm trailing 2-1, and this is me missing a double, and I wish I had that one back. What happens afterward is I do hit on the 4. My opponent comes in with a deuce, and then I double, which is also an error but not a blunder. In the sense of I have a pretty good chance at a gammon here. 76% wins, and almost half of those are gammons. So 2 pretty serious cube misses. We move along. We're tied 4-4. This is the 7th game of the match. I have a 5 and a 1 to play, and I'm trailing in the race by 12 here, and thought that was good enough not to hang back with the ace, but you almost always want to come in low instead of high. So this was an error on my part, especially since there's nothing threatening back here on the ace point, and there's a whole lot threatening here on the 5-point. So much better play. Take the ace, start building your board, and now you have the 2 and the 3 and the 5 of your opponent's inner board covered. This was a 6-2 that I really struggled with, and I went for the hit. I'm trailing in the race at this point by 6, although I obviously had the advantage afterward, and left a double shot. Smarter play would have been to just make the 5-point. You only have 1 checker back here. You have a reasonable chance of escape, and you've got a 4-point block, so you also have the chance of hitting someone, which if you move out here, you're probably not going to pick up any other checkers. Same game, a little bit later. I have a 4 and 3 to play, and decide I want to protect my checker on the 2-point when I have a very obvious make the 5-point play. Another recurring theme is when the 5-point is there to be taken, obviously this is the opponent's 5-point, that I think and think and think and overthink it and then pass it up. Moving ahead a little bit longer. Now we're in game 10. I am trailing 6-5 and I have a 5-1 to play, and familiarly, there's a chance to make the 5 point, and I save the checker out on the 18. This is, again, reducing my chance of winning, reducing my chance of winning a gammon, obviously reducing my chance of winning the match. Later, same match. I have a double here that I miss. The move is fine. The double is not so good. And another double here that I miss. What I'm honestly thinking is I'd like to get a gammon. So it's a pass for my opponent. It's a pass even here. And that's the earlier move. So that's a double blunder, that's a double blunder, and this is also a double blunder. And then finally, I do get a double and pass. I just waited 4 rolls too late for it. So this is also a double and blunder, and oh, this is a failure to double. I'm ahead by 3 pips here, and you say 3 pips. It's not very much, but it's 36-39. The effective pip counts, which I can see on my screen, but you can't see on yours, are white at 43.2 and red at 46.5. So still a difference of 3, and yet it's enough to double. I was 1 roll too late on it. I threw 3-2. My opponent threw 1-1, and then I had doubled and take with a 4 pip lead, 31-35. Immediately throw 2-1, and my opponent throws 4-3, and then I threw some better numbers, 6-4, 6-4, and 5-4 to take the lead 9-8. And 9 was unfortunately where I stopped. This is a 4-1 that should have been played in a much simpler way, as we see just 18-13 here. This is a race. This is a huge advantage in the race starting. I am ahead 113-166. That's a 53 pip advantage. And instead of trying to simply win the race and get to a double match point game, what I do instead is split up and hope that I don't get hit. And I don't get hit, actually. Red bounces, and I make the 3 point, which leaves me 3 loose checkers, and unfortunately I've failed to get them around. This is one of those situations where what you really need in life is a double, and there wasn't one coming. I eventually wound up with this 5-3, and got hit with the 4-3 flash shot, left 1s and 7s and 9s, which I think is, let's see, 11 1s and 6 7s and 4 9s. So I'm actually a favorite to get hit here. And I do get hit, and at that point, I really don't have any moves to make for the rest of the match. And I end up losing the match by 11-9. Played fairly well, did not make so many blunders, and wound up with a match rating of 6.97, but my opponent bested me there with a 5.57. So, as we note again at the end of a video, make the 5 point.